Hey everyone, today I'm taking a look at Detention, a 2D horror adventure game from Taiwanese developer Red Candle Games. Detention is set in Taiwan in the 1960s, the middle of a period known as the White Terror, where the country was under a long period of martial law, and fear of communism in mainland China led to an era of brutal government suppression of the media and suspected communist sympathisers. You play as a student trapped in a high school during a mysterious typhoon as an evil supernatural force begins to take over and you must survive long enough to find a way out. Gameplay-wise, you use point-and-click controls to navigate through the side-scrolling environment to find clues and solve puzzles. Roaming the halls with you, however, are lingering spirits which can sometimes be appeased with an offering of rice and otherwise snuck past by holding your breath. The breath-holding mechanic definitely adds some tension to the game, as it's hard to gauge how close you can get to the spirit before you have to start holding your breath. And if you hold it too early, you may find yourself running out of breath before you've safely passed it. The game's distinctive art style goes a long way towards setting the dark and oppressive mood of the game. Hallways and classrooms are rigid and uniform, full of straight lines, as is the assembly hall and military command post outside. The backgrounds are desaturated with the occasional splash of muted yellow candlelight or dark red blood, and animations are somewhat stiff with jerky character movement. The characters themselves stand out from the background, almost looking like pencil drawings or cutouts from photographs, which adds to the sometimes surreal appearance of the game, almost like someone is playing the story out with paper cutout dolls. The game also has a noisy, lo-fi soundscape throughout, very reminiscent of Silent Hill, which adds a lot to the oppressive feel. The only thing to really cut through it is the sounds of the lingering spirits, which makes them particularly terrifying. They're helpful in a way though, as they can help you tell which side the spirit is coming from since you're locked into a 2D plane, which was a small gameplay detail that I appreciated. Headphones definitely help with this. The game incorporates elements from Buddhism, Taoism, and traditional Taiwanese culture in the form of many of the puzzles and spirits you come across, and I really enjoyed learning about all this through notes and journal entries, as well as the protagonist's explanations of different things you come across. The East Asian spirituality is so apparent that you could absolutely be forgiven for thinking this is where the horror is drawn from. But as the game progresses, you begin to see that the game isn't really about a supernatural horror at all. If anything, it is about a supernatural force that is jeering a society that is turned on itself, putting on a twisted performance of the very real horrors committed by Taiwan citizens against each other. All of this is being played out by a teenager, someone who is born into a very fragmented society with seemingly nowhere to turn for support. The supernatural forces in the game may appear powerful, but the protagonist is just as powerless and trapped in life as they are in the school. I don't want to say much more, but I hope I piqued your interest in this game enough to check it out for yourself. The story takes a much more personal turn towards the last hour or so, and my one complaint might be that it starts to lose some interactivity at that point. But if you're just looking for an enjoyable 2D point-and-click horror game, I think Detention still delivers on that front, as well as presenting a really compelling story made all the more tragic by its roots in a very real period of Taiwanese history. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked or disliked this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the appropriate button below. I know I kind of strayed from the traditional review there towards the end, so I'd really like to know what you think of that. Also, if I do indeed talk about the kind of things you want to hear from an indie game review, please consider subscribing, as it helps me out a lot. If you're looking for something similar to Detention, check out my review of The Coma Cutting Class, a game by Korean developer Dev Espresso Games that I really enjoyed and has a somewhat similar theme of horror in a school setting. Or if you'd like to see more of Detention, you can check out my Let's Play, which is available with or without commentary from me. This is a recording of my first playthrough of the game though, so you might find I'm not quite as articulate as I am in my scripted videos. Okay, I've got the incense. Thanks again for watching, see you next time.